Welcome for the today's session of organization development. Hope all of you are feeling fine and safe and started the new year with lots of happiness and joy. Dear students, today we will be continuing with the remaining portion of the course policy of the organization development. Today we are going to talk about the another very important and sophisticated portion of the organization development. So today the topic which we are going to discuss is that organizational change. So far, dear students, we are talking about the organization development. So it's mean that the intention behind studying these all things is that how we are going to develop the organizations toward the better and systematic way. So for this purpose, the in order to develop the organizations entirely, so we do need to do some things being as the top level of the organizations or middle level of the organizations or low level of the organizations. So it's basically or simply an organization may not be developing as per the expectations which the organization which the management wants. So here some of the things is required, some of the policies and strategies and some of the steps is required to be undertaken for the purpose of developing the organizations. Today challenges is right. So each and every organization wants to update itself and to develop themselves as per the society and community level. If you talk about the international companies, they have developed in such a way where it meet the need and want, or if it meets the the requirement of the consumer and customers within the geographical environment. So for this purpose, so we are here to discuss the very important portions which make the organization to develop, or which leads the organization to develop its status from the present scenario to the update or to the developed scenario. So that is organizational change. The students, obviously, if each and every organization is going to be constant as it is, so there is no matter of development. That's why today each and every organization is going to develop itself. Each and every organization is trying to bring lots of changes in the term of productions, in the term of labor, in the term of environment, in the term of national and international relations, in the term of doing national and international businesses. That's why they are going to do some of the changes toward the organization. So obviously, changing some things or some aspects of the organizations with respect to the time and durations, and with respect to the environments, with respect to the competitors, with respect to the political and technology factors, there is the requirement of the organization to be changed. So these changes toward the organizations make the organization to be developed. So let's discuss what do you mean by organizational change, which is very important for the organizational development. Organization change, it is the process by which organization move from their present status to some desired future status to increase their effectiveness. So dear students, while beginning, we have said several times that the main intentions of each and every businesses, if you talk about the manufacturing businesses, if you talk about the service organizations, or if you talk about the other organizations, their intention is that how to be effective and efficient in order to achieve the goal of the organization. So for this purpose, each and every organization nowadays are trying to change their present status to some desired future status for the purpose of effectiveness. And dear students, ethically, if you talk about the changes in our life, each and every one is going to be changed and updated with respect to the time, because some things with the passage of times, the need and want and the demand and the requirement of the society might be changed. So here, for the organization, it may not be suitable that to be constant as it was. So the organization must be updated as per the the changes which are occurring toward the life of the consumer and customers, toward the other aspects of the countries or environment. So there is the need to be change. So simply changes some process, or it is some of the steps by which an organizations, particularly because our intention is to develop the organization. So basically here there are some steps to be undertaken by each and every organization to change its its status, its level, or its present scenario into the future desired scenario, in order to get effectiveness from that particular organizations, or from that particular task within the organizations. And if you talk better about these organizational changes, there are some of the factors which will be which will be discussing in our future classes, is that some of the factors lead the organization to be changed. If you talk about the political factors, if you talk about the technological factors, if you talk about the economical factors, if you talk about the social and cultural factors, so these things makes the organization to be changed. If you talk about the cultural, social and cultural factors which makes the organization not only one but the entirely about the national and international level, the organization was going to be change its present scenario into the future desire. If you talk about the the structure of the organization, or the framework of the organizations 20 years back, and you compare it with the today, so there are lots of changes which occurred in the frame of the organizations, either manufacturing or either service type of the organization. So basically change is some things to to just move itself, or present status to the future, or for the desired future state or status, in order to get better effectiveness and efficiency. This is basically what the organizations are going to change itself toward the development. And goal is defined improved ways of using resources and capabilities in order to increase an organization's ability to create values. Dear students, the reason behind that, why the organizations are changing their present status into the desired future status, is that they are trying to find it out the better way, the systematic way, the improved options, the more systematic ways, in order to increase the capabilities, for the purpose of increasing capabilities, or for the purpose of improving ways to the resources. If you talk about the resources, it means that human resources, financial resources, or other real assets resources, particularly building, environment, machineries, these all things to be changed. That is the reason behind the organizations to be changed, to be updated with respect to the technology. For which purpose? For the purpose of that the organization to create value. Dear students, value is something that to finding out or to create image among the customers and consumers. So basically, as I said before, that each and every organization might be dealing with the goods or service. So for the purpose of creating image in the mind of the customers or consumers, we do need required changes. So that's why the reason behind the change that each and every organization is following, or trying to follow, or working on it to be followed, is that all the resources which are available in order to improve their capabilities and competences, particularly the laborers or employees who are working within the organization, to make them to be more skillful, and to be more competent, and to be more outputful and to be more great while doing their work is that to change the organization's different aspects. So that is basically the meaning of the organizational change. Yeah, so dear students, changes, once we say that here that in order to improve ways of the resources, so once we talk about the changes are always occurring at the 4 levels within the organization, as we do have here in our slides. Changes is not going to be done only in one aspect, but or only to be done in one level, but the changes is going to be done at 4 levels. Let's discuss one by one. So the changes toward the human resources, the changes toward the functional resources, change toward the technology capabilities, and change toward the organizational capabilities. It means that these 4 levels are always considerable under the organizational change or changes. The first one is human resource, the second one is functional resource, the third one is technological capabilities, and the last one is organizational capabilities. So let's discuss one by one. The first things that which is coming under the consideration of change or organizational change is that human resources. So obviously, dear students, with respect to the changes toward the global and international level, these all things leads the other companies to be updated, to be changed toward the human resources. It means that if you talk about the olden days, there were no too much skills pools, qualified employees, and the knowledgeable employees, experienced employees within the organizations. But today, if you focus on the recruitment and selection process of each and every organizations, they are trying to find it out the well qualified, academic, and more skillful and competent employees to the organizations. So that's why the changes is going to be done toward the human resources for the purpose of developing the organization. The first portion under this is that investment in training and development. Exactly, dear students, today more financial investments and more considerations toward the trainings of the employees, either at national level or either at international levels, and develop their capabilities. As much as the capability and skills and competences of the employees is going to be developed, that much the organization is going to be developed. So today each and every organization is not going to be constant toward the human resources within the organization, but they are going to train them and develop them either at national level or international levels for the purpose of developing the entire organization. So the first thing which is going to be done toward the organization change is that changes toward the human resources. The first thing is that each and every organization is going and huge investments toward the training and development of the employees within the organization. The second one is socializing employees into the organizational cultures. Today each and every organization is conducting different types of conferences and seminars, either at national level or international levels, for the purpose of making the employees to be familiar and to be socialized and civilized with the organizational culture. Organizational culture, the students, it depends on the organizations. Each and every organization has its own cultures with respect to the working environment, cultures with respect to the way of doing work, culture with respect to the structure of the organization. So basically today there are major changes toward that on organizations, which makes the employees to be socialized, which makes to be the employees to be civilized toward the work environment, toward the organizational culture. The second changes is toward the human resource within the organization for the purpose of developing the organization is changing organizational norms and values to motivate multicultural and diverse workforce. Dear students, this is also one of the major changes which are occurring toward the organizations for the purpose of developing. That's why we do say that international companies are going to be more better rather than either local or international or local or national companies. The reason is that the international companies are always changing their norms, their values, their system of doing work, and motivate the employees and motivate themselves to not only focus on the single aspects of the work, but it is focusing on the multicultural and diverse workforce. The great example is that if you talk about the Alapozai company of our country, if you focus on the resources who are working within that particular company or organizations, is not only depending on one religion or depending on one culture. There are different people who are working within the organizations. And if you little bit think abroad or broadly think about this portion, that is, if you talk about the international companies, for example, if you talk about the Microsoft, Apple companies, or Samsung companies, there are different people who are working within that particular organizations, different religions, black and white, Muslims and Christians, and then go for the other aspects of the cultures. Different people are working together. So this different people who are working together leads the organizations to be developed with respect to the time and geographical location. The next point is that promotion and reward systems. Obviously, dear students, from the HRM perspectives, promotions in order to promote the employees with respect to their performance, the performance levels which has been played by the employees within the organization, and reward systems mean that compensations, the salary, the way of salary rewards, and then go for the monetary rewards and non-monetary rewards, and or financial or non-financial rewards. So when the employees is going to be promoted as per the performance level of the employees, as well as when they are paid as per the performance level, then the organization is going to be developed. So today each and every organization is obviously trying to focus on the HRM aspects of the organizations to just make it better and systematic, that if the employees are performing well, they will be promoted and they will be rewarded respectively. So that's why the organization is going to be developed with the help of changes toward the human resource within the organization. And the last portions under the changes toward the human resource which make the organizations to be developed is that changing the composition of the top management team. The students' composition means that the hierarchy or the structural level of the organizations. Structures in the sense means that the top level management. Obviously within each and every organizations, if you focus the structures of that organization, there would be president and CEO, and then go for the general managers, and then go for the departmental managers. These are the people under the top level management. It's mean that the top level management of the organization should not be vivid. So alright, it should be something dynamic, and it should be something which could be the combination of the different people. It should be in such a way where each and every people can look themselves to that particular positions. It's mean that the top level of the management may not be related to one religion or one category of the people. It should be the combination of the different people, or it should be interrelated with the different people to work together for the purpose of achieving the organizational goals. So particularly these 4 to 5 points are coming under the the organization changes toward the human resources for the purpose of developing the organizations. Exactly, when there is changes toward the human resource, obviously scientifically, theoretically and practically, that organizations would be developed with the passage of time. The second thing is that the changes which are occurring toward the functional resources and technological capabilities which make the organizations to be developed. as I said that before, that the changes within the organization is not going to be occur only in one aspects, only on the HR aspects or HRM aspects of the organization, but it is going to be done at 4 levels. The first level was human resource, and the second level we are going to discuss here in one slide, that functional resource and technological capabilities. Let's discuss how this level of the changes would lead the organization to develop itself with the passage of time. The first portion here is that change efforts directed at functional resources by transferring resources to the functions where the most value can be created in response to the environmental changes. Yeah, exactly, dear students, as I said that positions within the organizations may not be constant or related to a person always. Excuse me. So there are dynamic changes which are going to happen under the frame of the organizations, particularly doing some work within the organization. So changes toward the functional area of the human resource, which transfer resource to the functions where the most value to be created in response to the environmental changes. Whenever there is environmental changes, when there is some geographical changes, it means that some of the transformation of the resources with respect to the functional level of the employees within the organization might be done. So this changes toward the functional area of the human resource within the organization with respect to the time, with respect to the environment and geographical locations, would also lead the organization to develop itself. The second portion is that the changes efforts directed at the technology capabilities are intended to give an organization the capacity to change itself in order to exploit market opportunities. Dear students, a dynamic and academic changes toward the technology level of the world lead the organization to be changed. If you talk about the the technology level, technologies level which have been used by the organizations in olden days, but as compared to the today 50% of the organizations are using technology for the purpose of doing some task within the organization. So here the increase in the technology capabilities of the organizations or change in the technology capability of the organization lead the organization to develop itself and get more and to exploit more market opportunities, to find it out more scope inside the market with respect to their competitives. So these things would lead the organization to develop itself. For the organization, it may not be again reasonable and suitable that when the technology is being updated or with an enhancement level of the technology, the organization stays constant. No, the organization developments under the organization change, it is reasonable and suitable for each and every organization to be updated with the enhancement of the technology within the world, to be to get more scope among the market with respect to the competitors. Obviously, when there is increase in the technology level, the organizations must also enhance or increase or change itself toward the technology for the purpose of getting better scope within the organizations. For this purpose, if you talk about the Apple organizations or the Apple company, see how the Apple is going to be adjusted or to get better scopes, not only at the international level but at each and every corner of the world. The reason is that one of the reason could be that this organization is always going to be in touch with the enhancement of the technology, is going to be updated with the enhancement or with the technology changes which are occurring toward the life of the people or within the world. So these particular portions under the functional resource and the technological capabilities of the organizational development. And the here and the last portion is that as we say that the changes are going to be occur at 4 different levels. So the last level is that change efforts directed at the organizational capabilities. Apart from the human resources, apart from the functionals and technological, there is the changes toward the organizational itself, so that how the organization must change itself with respect to the things which are occurring within the world to be changed for the purpose of development. So that under that we do have change efforts directed at organization capabilities, altered organizational cultures and structures, thereby permitting the organization to harness its human and functional resources to exploit technological opportunities. Dear students, here the changes toward the organizational capabilities determines that cultures and structure of the organization must not be constant as per the old or past. It should be updated, and there should be changes toward the cultures. If you talk about the cultures, it means that the characteristics, the attitudes, the perceptions of the employees or the work environment of the organizations toward the employees must be academic and updated with respect to the time, with respect to the global changes, with respect to the international market, as well as the structures. If you focus in olden days, the structures of the organizations were very small, and there was no huge department within each and every organizations. But today, due to the technological enhancements, each and every organization is going to be broad. It means that there is huge area of working, different departments which are going to be available within the organizations for the purpose of providing better service to the customers and consumers, to be stayed within the competitive markets. That's why the hierarchy and the structures of the organization must be updated and must be changed with respect to the time and situations, either national level or either international level, for the purpose of using or exploiting technological opportunities. Dear students, if the norms and if the cultures or structures or hierarchy of the organization is not updated or not enhanced with respect to the technology, that organization might not be successful, or may not be developed, or may not be running or operating among the competitors. So there is the need that the organization must change its culture and structures with respect to the environment and situations for the purpose of getting scope into the technology. So I hope you people are clear with the today portion of the organization developments. We are going to wind it out the class over here and continue with the remaining portion of the course policy of the organization development in our future classes. Thank you so much. God bless you. Take care.